Hello there and welcome to this week's media news with me, Gareth O'Connor. I'm going to kick things off with Google's new product, and that's Drive.
The screenplay on your home computer. That presentation at work. Those vacation photos and videos on your phone. The trip itinerary on your tablet. Resumes, recipes, videos. With Google Drive, you can now access your files from wherever you are, even the big ones. Whichever program you're using, just drag and drop, and there are all your files ready to be opened by you and shared with anyone you want. Forget files being too big to email. Just share them with Drive, and everyone has the same file automatically that they can edit together from anywhere. Now all your stuff, work or play, is in one place. Easy to find and easy to share. Google Drive. Keep everything. Share anything.
Kind of cool, and that works through their cloud. And completely secure, but I guess a good way of showing how devices are converging and files are easily shared between one user or one device. Making a game. Last week, obviously, I spoke about brands who are making games with great success, particularly for reaching millennial targets, so those youngsters who are under the age of 30. But it's a good idea, and Jay-Z has just taken up this, so he's made a game. A good way to engage with fans, a good way to talk about his story, but you play his story. You play his life, you start off where he started, and you work your way up through his life to get to where he is as a successful businessman. But the reason why I'm showing this, just, again, when you think, to make a game, if you've got a good idea, no way am I advocating every brand should make a game. It needs to be the right brand, you have to have the right product, you need to be for the right audience. But again, this follows a story platform. So it's certainly something a brand can do when you think you make a game for 100, 150 grand maybe. That's a few weeks television. Not television, of course. Not great for reaching millennials. You never know if you need to reach them. Certainly advertising in games or being part of a game is not exactly a bad road to go down. Always on is something I'm a huge fan of, and it's something all our clients should certainly be thinking about, because when you think consumers, they're constantly investigating, talking about products, buying services, checking out reviews of services, and of course our clients and businesses are selling services every single Sunday day. So of course you need to ensure that in the consumer space, you're constantly switched on, always looking for every opportunity to connect with consumers and to sell to consumers. TV is kind of going in the same way. Well, it is going in the same way. And by this, the future of TV is always on. It means, of course, you can reach television. The schedule is obsolete. You can watch any content, anywhere, anytime, on any device, be it laptop, PC, mobile. Of course, by mobile, I mean phone or tablet. Because TV, the big buzzword this year and last year, of course, was the rise of social TV. But, social is a fabric. So social, it's wonderful, and it connects individuals. But without, it's not the be all and end all, because of course you still need great content, great engaging events. I still need you to drive real-time conversations. So it's the same with people talking about, social is the future of sports. Well, social is a way of connecting sports fans, but without the actual sporting event itself, there'd be nothing to talk about. So why am I talking about this, you may ask? Well, great content, of course, is paramount to access and us engaging audiences. If we want to engage audiences, we have to have something good to say. Good to tell them, a good story to tell. Something that actually grabs them by the scruff of the neck and grabs their attention. And then, of course, we need to think about how we can extend our story or engage them, expand our stories across the narrative arc, across multiple screens, anytime, anywhere, as and when the consumer chooses, because, of course, the power is with the consumer these days. Microsoft, speaking about gaming, they've got some new friends. So the Xbox Live now has 40 million users worldwide, and they're kind of, if you will, early adopters in the whole connected web TV experience. But now, of course, they're partnering with television companies who are now selling 30-second spots across Xbox Live, which is kind of cool. This is starting in the States now, and of course it'll work its way down here, but it's kind of cool and a great way to reach millennials and gamers again. And of course there's a lot of opportunity for branded content in those spaces because, well, Microsoft owns this space, so do with it what you will. Apple, there is no stopping Apple. Amazingly, the revenue for Q1 was up 59%, which is amazing. And net profit was up 93%, which is just, the mind boggles as to how. But again, it's because they've created something that people want. It's desire. Everybody wants an Apple. That's how you really success. You need to create things that people desperately desire and want. But some impressive stats. So 35.1 million iPhones sold in 3 months. Nearly 12 million iPads and 4 million Macs, all sold in 3 months. And the company reported sales of tablets increased 151% on a year ago, which makes a very happy Tim Cook, I must say. Things are also good at Facebook. Their Q1 revenue jumped 45%. It's amazing. Over $1 billion in 1 year, quite something. Net profits, of course, fell, but that's because they're doing an awful lot more now. And they're expanding, ever growing. But amazingly, they were adding 56 million people every month since Q4 2011, which is amazing. So they've actually now got 901 million users worldwide. The billion will be hit in a few months' time. And interestingly, almost half of those users are now using Facebook mobile, which is quite amazing. And another amazing stat for you, and again, this shows you the power of gaming. Zynga, who make like Farmville and Cityville, they account for 15% of Facebook revenue for Q1, which is just amazing. And speaking of mobile gaming, this is a lovely idea, and again goes to show good ways of engaging with a younger audience. Challenge: kids, getting kids undergoing cancer treatment, exhausted from chemo and radiation therapy, to keep detailed logs on their pain. Very difficult for hospitals to do, but a solution was found where they made a crime-fighting iPhone game that was disguised. The chores that they had to do, and obviously the job of them keeping a detailed log in the form of a game. Really good idea, but it was something that was done in Toronto, hospital sick kids in Toronto, and it's been used to great effect. The kids all of them are using it. It's a wonderful example of mobile gaming for good. And speaking of mobile ad impressions in Australia doubled over the past year, and Apple products were accounting for half of that total, which of course is massive. Here in our fair shores of NZ, 29% increase in impressions over Q1 2012 versus 2011. iPhone leads the charge. Their impressions for the iPhone are 12%. Taking into account all Apple operating systems, stands at 20%. But of course, the winner in NZ at the moment is Android, which of course is a similar sort of thing around the world because they have hundreds and thousands of handsets that run Android. But NZ, they account for 27.5% of impressions. Location-based services are set to boom, sticking with mobile again for a while. A recent survey for 60,000 people in 58 countries, so pretty robust survey, found that 62% of people who are not currently using location-based services plan to. So this is things like Foursquare and Places. But the survey suggested that 19% of the 6 billion mobiles in the world currently employ these sorts of services. So that is like Facebook, Places, and Foursquare. So 19% of all phones are currently using these services. Most folks, of course, are using GPS, navigation, and maps. That's about 46% of users. But the things are kind of growing. Facebook and Places and Foursquare, a 50% rise year on year. So that's 13% of users. 22% to 26% completed sort of local searches. So be that mobile search for places or restaurants. People were searching for their friends in the area, people they could connect with, and then of course offers are big. And then of course 13%, interestingly, 13% were sharing their location with brands and retailers to get offers. And this has seen significant growth. So it's a sort of thing, if you are doing, particularly if you're doing search, definitely get yourself on mobile. And if you are doing anything offer-based online, start thinking about mobile. The Herald is thinking about a change. Yes, indeed, the Herald is going from compact, from a broadsheet. It's not confirmed yet, but it's looking likely, and I say it probably will. And Fairfax, Sunday Star Times, and Post, they're also thinking about it, and I would imagine they would. Because really it's a sign of the times and the shift in consumer media habits from buying physical paper to getting their news online or on a tablet or iPad. But again, it's kind of a sign of the times in the sense that they lost 7% of revenue in print was lost last year. So they got to cut costs somewhere. Increase in multitasking has risen in NZ, but I guess it's nothing new. Nielsen just released some new research. 29% of Kiwis surf the web whilst watching TV. I'm surprised it's not higher than that, to be honest with you. If you were to do a survey of the office, I'm sure it would be higher. Certainly is here, anyway. 28% of Kiwis read a newspaper whilst watching television. And Nielsen have said, New Zealanders' love of technology, the growing proliferation of media, and increasing demand for anywhere, anytime access to content is evidenced by high levels of engagement and interaction with all major media in New Zealand in 2011. Yes, people love content. People are spending more and more time with content than ever before, but it's got to be good, and people want it anytime, anywhere. I'm still looking at this. Of course, TV is still the biggest channel, along with online. I'm just looking at people who blue line engagement in the last 24 hours. Newspapers still holding strong, but 50% of people. And 24 in the last sort of week. But again, it's starting to diminish as the rise of internet takes over. And of course, radio is still trucking along nicely there. Confidence, unfortunately, is taking a dip in the NZ marketplace. We've been riding a crest because we've kind of missed out on most of the big global problems, and of course Europe's a shambles. But 65% of Kiwis actively look to buy products on special discount. 53 are only buying the essentials or significantly cutting down on luxuries. 34 have said they've switched to brands. 26 buy in bulk. 22 buy less in total, and amazingly, only 6% have said that the current financial state of the world and confidence hasn't affected them at all. So all Kiwis are thinking of this. Something we've seen something like before.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance. Maybe she needs help with that computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels it's hard. Aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this, you'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. It's not, shh, trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue tequila. Now, mix it up. Ole. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
I guess it is very Old Spice. My point to make with this really is that, it's a way of doing something different. Producing content, because we all know that content is king and queen, and I've said it millions of times, but it's a good, beautiful way of pushing so many brand measures, be it likability, consideration, and even right through to, purchase and recommendation and advocacy, everything. Any brand measure. So it's important, and it doesn't have to be expensive, but a beautiful way of coming up with a good, great idea that drives deeper engagement with your target audience. And creating something that actually drives discussion and conversation and sharing. It's really important, but do think about that. And speaking of Old Spice, they've done something new.
Repeat after me. I am the best.
I am the best.
I have big muscles and
I
cool
have
hair.
big muscles and cool hair.
I have a sophisticated and
I have a
diverse group of
sophisticated
friends.
and diverse group of friends.
I own an environmentally responsible sports
I own an
sedan.
environmentally responsible sports sedan.
I'm breaking up with Heather Graham because I need my space.
Breaking up with Heather Graham because I need my space.
Wait, what?
I am winning all the sports.
winning all the sports.
I believe in myself.
Importance of good content, good people, and that's it from me. See you next week.